Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Junk Journal January. And I am here today with day number 20, which is texture. And I already checked it off because as soon as I started filming today, I got a phone call. So we are saying the same thing here. Okay, so I was thinking a little bit about what to do today, and there's so many ways to create texture, and I was like, what can I do? I'm thinking about how not to make a gigantic mess in my studio because that's what I'm like tempted to do. So instead I wanted to think of a focal point first. And so I just grabbed this sheet, which is from my Journal Together kit that I do on Patreon on a monthly basis. And I thought I would go ahead and go with this guy and this label that says Uncommon Traveler. And so I think sometimes when you have a prompt, you need like some kind of a starting point, like a focal point, and I think this will be good fodder for me. So I also grabbed this punch, which I've barely, if ever, used, and it's got 3 different like shapes for making snowflakes, sort of like something like a little doily kind of. I punched one out right before the video, and it looks like that, and that was on that setting. So then this setting, let's try to punch one out. This is just an old piece of file folder. And it's quite an interesting punch. Oh, I think I got a bad punch. Hold on. I don't think I did that very well. I am a little new to using this punch. Okay. I think I did it right that time. Yeah, so we have 2 shapes that we can create. So what I'm thinking is I want to punch a bunch of these to be able to create a texture, like a textural pattern with them. So I will take just 2 seconds and I'll punch a whole bunch of them and come back. Alright, so I've cut out just a bunch of these in the 2 different patterns that have a little bit more ornate cutouts. And what I want to do is just glue them down on this piece of paper to just basically create a bit of texture. So I'm just going to glue them all down very simply. Just going in around the little bits to make sure that all the edges stay glued down. I just want to kind of mix up the 2 so we don't have the same pattern all next to each other. Just lots of little fiddly gluing. I would say that most things that require texture are going to be a little time consuming, which is okay. And I'm not worrying about like extra bits of glue or anything, it's fine. Because you're not even going to see it. Okay, so these are all glued down now, and what I want to do, I just grabbed a few colors of paint, a couple of pinks, a blue, and a red. So I'm going to go in with the bright and crazy pink first and create kind of a base layer of paint. And the paint will like essentially further seal down your cutouts. Grab a little of the red. And maybe some of the pink, the other pink. Okay. And then I want to just kind of clean my brush a little, not a lot, just a little. And then I'm going to just go over this again with a blue without letting anything dry, just kind of okay. And I think that's about as thick as I want to go, and I'm happy with the color blend there. So I think I'll set these aside again. We'll do something fun with those on the jelly plate after. So now I'm going to go ahead and just dry this with my heat tool and come right back. Okay, so this is completely dry now, and we've got our texture here. And then I want to go over this with a luster wax, the Lilac Rainbow Sizzix Luster Wax, because it will respond quite nicely, I think, on here. And I'm just going to kind of go over with my finger, not being too worried about where this texture paste goes, because it's just essentially, or not texture paste, but luster paste, it's just going to go over top of the shapes and then slightly around them. Okay. Alright, I think we've got everything everywhere. Alright. A little bit too much right there. Okay. And then I'll just pick this up and take a look and just get rid of any little bits of extra paste that's anywhere. Okay, perfect. So then we will set this aside, and then I'm thinking even adding a little bit of, let me see how this, let's experiment with ink here and there. This is Distress Oxide. In Black Soot. Okay, that's fun. Yeah, that has a really fun texture. I wish you could feel it. This is the hard part of doing this prompt, is that you can't appreciate the texture like I am. I'm just going to give it one more little rub here. Okay, then I think I want to figure out how to put my focal point on here to make this all come together. So he's got like an umbrella type invention hat on top of his head. Okay, and I will cut out the Uncommon Traveler. Label, and then I'll see if maybe I use these two, these little other bits that I cut off, little digital numeric bits. Okay, so I'm thinking also for texture, I often like to use book spine. I'm wondering if I have a book spine that I would like to use on here. I'm thinking one that's a little more, oh, right there, perfect, like cheeseclothy looking like that. I would like that more. Okay, so where do I want to put him? Maybe down here somewhere. I'm thinking of putting this here, but I think it needs to go under him let's just start gluing a little here. Okay, pop that on here. Then, you know what has really great texture that I could use to probably is something on here is this. This is all my little bits of fabric that I've stitched together from my Ort. Just these tiny little bits of fabric that I put in between the wash away, what's it called? I forget the name of it. It's like, is it for sewing? It's a wash away kind of meshy type material that you can trap things in between, and when you put it in hot water it washes away, so you can stitch all on top of it. It's like a webbing or something. I forget the name. Oh jeez, that's okay. So maybe I'll use some of that too. So I think I want this to be a tag, because I actually need to make tags. I've depleted my tag stash today, sending out my mail. Okay, so we need to ink this. All of this needs to get a bit of inking, and I think I want to ink this with some brown. I just want to kind of lay it down and maybe ink the entire thing. And then I want to ink the edges of this, I think, too. If I can. I might not be able to really get much because of the wax. I'm getting a bit, that's fine. Just want to grunge the edges a little. Okay. And then of course that needs to get grunged. So I think I'll go ahead and put that on here, add him, and then we'll keep on building this up. Because using texture in this way, it gives you like a really nice foundation to work with, because you've already got a really nice background. And him there. Okay. Not sure on those. They may not get incorporated. I think I want to get some spray because he has this like umbrella over his head, and I'm thinking maybe some acrylic spray would be really cute. So I'm going to grab that. Alright, so I'm just using Marabou Art spray. It's an acrylic spray for mixed media, and the color is petrol, and I'm actually not going to spray it. I'm going to kind of try to drip and spatter it if I can. Then I'm going to see if I can just add a little bit of a wateriness to it. This is kind of an experiment because we're going wax, water, ink, but let's just play with it and see. Okay, now I think I'm going to just daub it with something before I go to dry it. Quick daub to just get the excess water up. It really just moved around a lot. Not unexpected though, because this has wax on it, right? Oh, look at that pretty paper we're making. I should do it on this side, the blanker side of it. I'm gonna get so messy. But there's a method to my madness here. Okay. So what might not work that well on the front, maybe we'll make it work on the back. Let's just pick this up with our hands. Then I'm going to get all messy, but that's okay. Pick it up as much as possible. Alright, now we have this. Okay, let me set this aside because it's going to be used. Alright, So we did get a little bit. Let's try drying this now. I just want to see if this collected water will in fact dry with the wax. And it is. Yeah, I'm getting some nice little stains. It's going to take a moment, just a little moment to... Okay. Now, put this off the side. And I see a little bit of an edge that needs some glue here. There we go. Re-glue you down. Okay. I feel like oddly content with this, like without doing a whole lot more up here. I think I just want to enjoy this texture. It's really cute. So what I was thinking, I like the back as is. It feels very mixed media, but I was thinking about putting some of this on the back as well. So maybe what I will do is just get rid of the text because we don't want the text. And I'll throw that in my scraps because I can still use that for something fun. And then I'll just dry this a little because it's still quite wet. And this was just our inky blot paper. I also quite love the texture that paper gets after it's gotten wet and then dried. Just gets really crinkly. And we'll crinkle it again. But you know, all things like this create textures. So why don't we just glue this on here? I'm going to move this out of the way. I still need to use up the rest of that paint as well. So I think what I'd like to do is just take a piece of this like that. And then right there to right here. Let's keep that in a neat fold here. And then this will have to cut it. And just ink the edges. Glue this down to the back of the tag to create a nice backing to write on. Okay. And you know, you can even create wrinkles on purpose. Like you can just leave the wrinkles in and they're really nice and textural as well. Okay, I'm actually quite content with just this. I don't even feel like I want to stitch anything really. I just like it. Let me see though. I may actually stitch. I do want to put, because this is a really perfect texture for this. And I love this iridescent section. So let's grab this. Fusible webbing. Dissolvable fusible webbing. That is what that's called. Okay, so I'm going to go make a tab for this and stitch around it, and I'll be right back. All right, so there we go. It's all stitched and finished, and I really like the texture and the shimmer. I like the texture here. I love the texture here. I love the texture here. And on the back. So we've just done a lot of textural stuff. So yeah, play with your punches and see about making your own textures. I think this would be really nice to use in a lot of different ways because it's a nice thin profile. You know, you could do something like this on a journal cover. You could do something like this on like a signature. You could do little clusters this way. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Okay, that's it for me for now. I'll see you tomorrow for more Junk Journal January. Take care. Bye.